Creighton, we're joined by head coach Greg McDermott. We'll start with a statement, and then we'll take questions.
Well, they're as good as I thought they were. Watching them on film, you get caught up as a basketball old school purist in the way they play the game and the simplicity of what they do, but how perfect the execution is. We decided to try some zone, to attempt to take away, in my opinion, they shoot the three, obviously it's great. But against man-to-man defense, they get to the free throw line, they get layups, they put you in rotations, they end up getting the same three-point shots you get against the zone anyway. So we tried to take away some of that, which we did, and they shot jump shots and they made them. And they're really hard to stop. And it's hard to imagine that they could be a more efficient offensive team than they were a year ago, but they are. And that's it's like a video game, their offense. It's fun to watch. It's hard to prepare for. Very hard to come up with a scheme to try to stop them.
Questions?
Try to match up zone early and just kind of take us through the thinking behind it.
Well, they're averaging 1.28 points per possession, and most teams are playing a man-to-man, so my math's not great. So their numbers weren't quite as good against the zone. We thought maybe with the matchup, we could get to some of their shooters, and they had a couple tough ones, and they took a couple quick ones, which is what we wanted them to do. But to their credit, they made them. But it didn't matter. We couldn't guard a man-to-man either. So, and we're not alone.
Yeah, and in a game like that, just because they are so efficient, it puts a lot of pressure on you on the other end too, right? Offensively, I mean.
Offensively, I don't know how many possessions there were. 67 possessions, and we scored 78 points. That's pretty good. We just got our tails kicked. So, the credit goes to them. We could have done a few things better? Yeah, probably. I mean, there were some. We had some blown assignments, a couple in transition, a few turnovers in that stretch when we came back and tied it in the first half. And then I think we went on a stretch of 5 or 6 where we didn't score, and they were able to, I think it was 25-22, and then all of a sudden it's 36-22 or 40-22, I believe. And that's what they can do to you. You think you're there, and then they hit you with a spurt, where they score, go on a 15-0 run or something like that, and now you're fighting an uphill battle the entire night.
Add to the fun when a freshman like Gillespie comes in and just kind of plays an efficient game.
Yeah, both those guys come in and just do their job, and I think Jay's teams, that's kind of, in my opinion, that's their trademark. They have a lot of guys that have a role, and they really execute that role at a high level. And Jalen Brunson, I think he's starting to get a little bit more attention nationally, but there aren't. I'm not in the NBA, but if I was, I would want that guy on my team. He impacts winning in so many ways. And if you need him to score, he'll score. You need him to distribute, he distributes. He's got toughness. He's got moxie. His leadership skills appear to be off the charts. I just think that offense with the ball in his hands is really hard to guard.
Coach, fall to 17-5. What do you need to do to make what do you want to see from your team to make the tournament in March?
We have 7 games left, I think, in the league. We go to DePaul on Wednesday, which is a huge game for us, and then we have 4 or 5 of them at home after that. Now, I haven't said that. These guys come back. Xavier comes back to our place, so we've got some tough games at home. But this league, you just got to find a way to grind out wins. If you're not Villanova and you're not Xavier, the rest of us are fighting for our lives. And we just got to keep on plugging. It's one game. We did some good things offensively at times, and defensively weren't good enough, and we know what the gap is, and if we've got 6 weeks to close that gap before the Big East tournament.
Do you have a couple of days here to use to maybe just sort of reconfigure, or at least maybe get a guy like Jacob Epperson integrated even further?
Well, the first thing we have to do is we got to take some time off, because this has been a long stretch. We've got some guys that have played huge minutes. We got Jacob out there for 17 tonight. He probably won't be able to walk tomorrow, but it's good for him, you know, and he showed some signs of what I think he can bring us as we continue to move forward. But you know, we're riding Marcus and Kyrie and Toby pretty hard, and you know, we'll take tomorrow off, come back, practice Saturday, and then take Sunday off just to try to see if we can get their legs a little fresher for the stretch run.
2 more.
I know, just kind of judging from, I missed your opening comments, but I mean, Nova's really good, and we all know that. But you guys had some confidence going into this game. What has to go right when you're playing against a team like this? I mean, just kind of hope that they're not sort of on their game like they were tonight.
I mean, I don't think you're ever going to force them into a bunch of turnovers because they have, number one, they keep it in Jalen's hands a lot, and he's not going to turn it over. And you know, they just have solid ball handlers around him, and they can open up the court because of the big's ability to shoot it. And now they can run any of 5 guys down on the block and post you up. So, you know, we certainly were confident. It's an opportunity for us to play the #1 team in the country, a team that's played great basketball all season long. But I mean, you really have to hope they miss. Because that's as I said earlier, that's as efficient of an offensive team as I've ever coached against, and coached against some pretty good ones.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.